Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and I just finished moving. So apologies if this episode sounds really weird or out of place. I don't mean it to, I promise. But I'm currently on my floor with my TV haphazardly hooked up to my computer. No internet yet either, so how I'm going to update this and actually upload it rather, I have no clue. But that is not for all of you to worry about. That is for me to worry about. So I did not have time to record another episode, so that's why I'm doing it today. It is Monday, breaking the fourth wall, as always, but I did finally move, and I know in my last episode I talked about how shitty moving is and how much I hate it, and truthfully, nothing changed. I still hate it just as much as I have always, but at least it's done. Got the whole place, it's getting set up now, but we're getting there. And I think, truthfully, that's something to look forward to. Again, it's just opportunity. This room that I've got, I can make it look however I want, and that in itself excites me. But besides the point, we finally finished, and my God, we had a 26-foot U-Haul and actually got it all done in a reasonable amount of time, which was great. It still took like 3 days to get it all done because we had to go back and clean, but I'm not going to bore all of you with that nonsense because, my God, it sucked. That's all you need to know. Then after moving, I was finally able to see my sister. Now, this was kind of what I was looking forward to, just I had to get through the moving part of it because usually, didn't happen this year, not sure why. Usually people like the excuse to go and drink, but I guess this time they didn't because there was no family reunion, and usually that happens around the time I have to move every single year. Always at the end of June, beginning of July, that weekend, they love to party, they love an excuse to drink, and love my family very much, the ones that give a shit about me at least, and that are kind to others, but all the same, my family, I didn't get to see any of them this year. Yet my big sister, she's in Calgary. Shout out to Kirsten, love you lots. She was able to come up to Fairview with my little niece, Haley. And honestly, to see them, they just are recently in my life. I actually met them a few years ago at the family reunion that I was speaking of. We hadn't known each other before. Like, we are new to each other. And the fact that we click so well, and not only that, but her daughter, Haley, she loves me. I finally felt like an uncle, thank God. All my other brothers kind of steal the spotlight when it comes to my brother's children, and it's just nice to actually have this feeling of just warmth, because she's such a warm light. And it was adorable. She got me to play dolls with her. I know this has nothing to do with music, but I have to share because she got me to sit down and play dolls with her. And the imagination, my God, some kids, like, please don't ever lose that. I know that I'm probably talking to adults right now. I doubt a kid would be listening to this for how much I swear. But truthfully, the imagination, it was a shock. It's like, why aren't more people like this? And I think it's because we lose that magic, that sense of wonder, that just pure innocence that you can only have when you're an actual child. And it's really unfortunate that that is the case. But I was able to regain some of my own this very weekend because I got to see my sister. And I had to share this first because it was something that really meant a lot to me. And definitely in a moment that I didn't really think much of. I was really excited to see them, and the fact that it went so well, it was like nothing changed. No one actually left. Like, I know that they went home, they're home right now, but it was a nice, quick moment. A quick visit, but very nice all in all. And I'm very happy that I was able to make it happen because I definitely miss them, and I just want to wish them the best. So that is why I'm talking about it, and it really made me happy. It was something that I haven't felt in that kind of way, I want to say ever, because again, I've never gotten the chance to feel like a proper uncle. And something that was really heartwarming as well was that Haley, my niece, she's going into grade 3, and she is already very adamant, absolutely very smart, but also very adamant to wanting to be a writer. And that really caught me off guard. I'd never heard a child be like, yeah, I want to write books. I know it obviously happens. There's a lot of authors out there that obviously had that dream ever since they were a little child, but to actually see it, like I've never gotten the chance to see that before. And whenever a kid, especially a kid, wants to pursue something in the creative arts, it just warms my heart because there's not enough of that. This creativity that's always squandered and always told to just go away. I'm glad that for her, she hasn't gotten that ruined yet, and I hope she never does. Please, Haley, if you ever hear this, which I doubt you ever will, never lose that light that you have right now when you're a kid. Because that imagination, that wonder, that pure excitement to just exist is insane. And it's obviously very lovely to me, and that's why I'm making such a big deal about it. But it made me really happy, and I'm very happy to have experienced that with her and be able to leave a lasting impression, because I know that I was able to now leave that kind of memory on her. And also, props to me for apparently being cool. So, hey, a kid said I was cool, and I'm going to run with it. Other than that, though, I did want to touch on Black Sabbath. Now, Black Sabbath, oh my god, I don't even know where to begin. There doesn't even need to be an introduction, truthfully. Black Sabbath needs no introduction. If you don't know, somehow you've been living under a rock, there was a Back to the Beginning concert. It lasted like 8 hours. Like, it was an all-day kind of show. It might have even been more than 8 hours now that I think about it. I don't know all the details, but I had to talk about it because it just happened. And Ozzy Osbourne, man, what a fucking legend. Straight up. There's no other words to say other than that. This man, he's insane. He ate a head of a bat. That's insane. It honestly is insane. And I think that, truthfully, the way that they were able to do it, like, I don't know all of the guests that appeared. I do know Youngblood did. I believe, guitarist, the one that goes by 2 from Sleep Token. And there was tons others. I know Pantera, Travis Barker from Blink-182, the drummer, obviously. Metallica. Like, the lineup was insane. There's a photo that they posted with everyone that was there. Insane. Like, to see all those legends of rock and roll be together in one place for one show. For one show. That's nuts. And honestly, I wish I could have went. It was in the UK. I cannot afford that. Big sad. Very, very big sad. But they reunited for one final show. Pretty much a send-off not only to the band, but also to Ozzy, as it's unfortunate to say, but he is going to pass away, and I think he knows that it's going to be soon. And it was a lovely send-off, because not everyone gets that. Usually people aren't lucky enough to be able to do that and have that sort of send-off. Usually they go well before they even get the chance to think about something like this. And to know that Ozzy himself was able to sit up there, like, yeah, he has stage 5 Parkinson's. He can't move. But he was sitting on his throne of darkness. The Prince of Darkness himself was sitting there and singing to this sea of people, completely filled, and loving it. Like he was in his prime. I know obviously he wasn't and isn't, but you could see the joy in his eyes. He was actually there. He was present. He was feeling it. He was happy. And I think that's something that so many people are trying to take away and say, oh, it's a publicity stunt, or oh, it's because of Sharon, or oh, it's because of this, because of that, industry stuff. But why? Why would you think that when you see these videos? And it proves the exact opposite. It was so heartwarming to be able to see these songs played, especially the fact that they closed the show with my favorite song of not Black Sabbath, but of Ozzy's, which I did not expect. I thought they were just playing Black Sabbath songs, but amongst all the covers that the guests sang, Ozzy himself, Black Sabbath, they sang Mama, I'm Coming Home. Excuse me? They sang Mama, I'm Coming Home. That is my favorite Ozzy song, hands down. There's no competition whatsoever. And the fact that they played that, I wish I could have been there, because now it gives that song even more depth than it ever had before. And with it being my favorite Ozzy song ever since I was younger, like once I understood the lyrics, it became my absolute top. I always liked the melodies to it, but once I understood the lyrics, it really hit. And now it has a whole new meaning because he's singing to everybody, which will most likely be his last performance as an artist, as a human being, really. And he's saying, "Mama, I'm coming home." Like, talk about a tearjerker, man. Because I know it's not going to hit everybody. Maybe people didn't grow up with Ozzy like I did, but that was one of the first rock bands I was ever shown, Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, with Iron Man and Crazy Train. Like, those were the two main ones that I was shown from my dad. And I haven't ever had to look back. Like, it's insane that they were able to close out such a legacy with such an iconic performance and it to all go right. Like, it didn't go wrong. Nothing wrong happened that I know of. And if anything did, then it was overlooked by just the pure magic that was on stage, the pure magic that they were able to create. So the fact that they were able to sing "Mama, I'm Coming Home," Ozzy was able to sing that with the entire audience just singing the words back, and him saying "Mama, I'm coming home." It was like he was saying goodbye to everybody, and that's kind of what it felt like. And I cried very hard about that when I seen the performance online. I got to see a clip of it on Twitter. Didn't even get to see the full thing yet, but I cannot wait because they better make that into a movie or have it on streaming services or something, because I want to see that whole concert. I will buy it if I have to. Remember when concert movies were a thing? Black Veil Alive and Burning? I have that one, but 100% I will watch the shit out of that, because what a legend just in rock and roll, in history. Like, he is a man that will forever be remembered. There's no doubt in my mind. And Black Sabbath as a band, how much they've contributed to music as a whole, especially rock and roll and especially metal music. Enough said, honestly. Black Sabbath and Ozzy, respect. Absolute respect, because you have already lived more than half of anybody, more than the majority of people have ever lived. And that in itself is insane. Now, to kind of transition from Black Sabbath, I want to talk about Black Veil Brides. They are my favorite band. Absolute favorite band. Top. No one tops them. I know 21 Pilots, if people listen to my podcast prior episodes, you might think that they beat them. But Black Veil Brides is my favorite band of all time, and they are coming back. Now, I don't know if anybody is following them, but they did just recently, I want to say a few days ago, July 3rd to be exact, they did an interview with blabbermouth.net saying that they finished their new record. And I wanted to kind of share some highlights here. As Andy himself said, we finished a new record. At this point, one song is fully mixed, so it's very early, but we produced the record ourselves, myself and Jake Pitts. We're kind of at the helm in that, and it was the first time doing a self-produced record in that way, at least of original material. We had done re-records of things before, but it was also devoid of many outside voices. Which he then went on to say, for a lot of years you get to a place where you start your first record, you write the record together, and then you record it, and then it's out there, and then you have a level of popularity. If you're lucky, and then people go, you know what, we should put you on with this producer. And then the producer has his way of doing things, and then you work with the next producer, and they have a way of doing things, and then the more and more you work with different people, the more injection of their style become a part of yours, and what you do. And that's actually been really beneficial for us, because working with John Feldman for so many years really created for me, vocally, how I am now. My voice, there's a definite line where you go, oh, this person became a much better singer, and I credit that all to Feldy and basically him teaching me how to use my own voice. Working with Eric Ron, working with Bob Rock, we've had a lot of luck with our producers, but we had never in our whole career, back since the very beginning, had an opportunity to go, we kind of know what this band is, and would a record be like if we made it and tried using our best judgment. We didn't want to go in there just celebrating ourselves. I think sometimes that's the thing that happens when bands produce their own record. They're like, everything we do is great. We were very hard on ourselves to make sure that it was the best thing that we could do, and I'm really excited about how it's turning out. Now, as a Black Veil fan, that makes me incredibly excited because, one, it has been so long since we've gotten new Black Veil music. I know that we just got Bleeders. Yes, Bleeders counts, but at the same time, I just want, Black Veil to be back. Andy went on to say as well that I wouldn't know how any of this stuff functions without particularly those two. Jake and I have always said we learned how to be people in a studio from John Feldman, and then that carried over to where when we started working with Eric, who also had worked with Feldman as an engineer in his early career, we come from that same school, and so I think in a lot of ways we brought that same sort of means of production to our record. It's just that we were doing it on our own, but it really comes from that for us. So he goes on to say more here, but I just kind of wanted to touch on that as Andy himself, they're making a record. Black Veil Brides is making that new record, and they're making it in such a way that is going to be the most authentic Black Veil Brides record we have ever heard. There has never been one that will be more authentic than this, in terms of it being just everything that they've always wanted a record of theirs to sound like. Because always it's been interfered with or helped in some way or another from the producer. And this time, we are getting a completely unfiltered Black Veil Brides record, and that in itself makes me incredibly excited, as I don't think we've ever had something quite like this ever since I've been a fan of Black Veil Brides, and I can't wait. I know that they said that in an interview that they are making their record, it's done. They have a lot more to do in terms of mixing and mastering, but a single is ready. And not long afterwards, actually today, they posted to their Instagram story a photo that said confession. Sorry, the day before they did that. And then today, a Monday, they posted another Gauntlet video. We're back in the trials. We're back in the trials, man. It's time for the trials of judgment, the gauntlet of judgment. We need to confess. And if you watch the actual clip itself, it talks about confession and how if you are ready to join these trials, you just need to message back on their Instagram page, on that story itself, which should be on their profile as well. If you missed it, you just need to message back, I confess, and you'll be a part of it. Just be ready to confess your sins to the outcasts. I cannot wait. Oh my God. What is it going to be? What is it going to sound like? And yes, there's more to this interview. Please go check it out. But that was the gist of it. And I've been a fan of this band for so long. It makes me so emotional and so excited to know that this is going to be authentically them for the first time ever. I cannot wait. I even if it's bad, man, I just want to hear it. Thinking about it, I've got goosebumps. I cannot wait to hear whatever they've got cooking because regardless, I'm ready. And also to touch on that documentary, the Who Cares About Black Veil Brides documentary that they talked about last time when we had these last trials go on, that was actually just updated to say, Andy himself said, that it is going to be looking like it's a 4-part series. Where it's going to be streaming, how we're going to receive it, no idea yet. There's no other news for it. When it's going to be coming out, no news that I know of. But as soon as I do know any news of any sorts, obviously I will talk about it because I love this band. I love everything they do. And I want to support because they're my boys. And enough said, truthfully. They're currently off tour now. They were just on tour with Baby Metal. And I guess now they're ready to go into their cycle of new album. New album mode, release that single, get that album finished. And as soon as they do anything else, I'll be sure to talk about it, as apparently the trials start tomorrow, and judging off the last ones, they lasted a week. We'll see how long these ones last. But regardless, I'm ready, and I will be sure to keep everyone up to date as well as I can. Go check them out on Instagram if you want to keep up to date yourself. Day by day, there are trials, and I will be going alongside with y'all and posting about it as much as I can. Tomorrow, they do have a post scheduled. They said that tomorrow it starts. I might miss the very beginning of it because I know it's just going to be a story, so technically I have all day to respond to it, but I might not respond right away as I will be on the road to Calgary. Now, in Calgary, obviously right now it is summer, it is Stampede month. And if anyone knows Alberta, obviously you think of Calgary. I think the thing that comes to mind the quickest is the Stampede. It is a rodeo. It is that time, and I've never been, and I'm not really going to the Stampede, but I will be going to see Fall Out Boy. If I get a chance to see the Stampede, then I'll take it, but I don't think I'm going to be necessarily going to the Stampede to experience the rodeo, but I will be seeing Fall Out Boy as they are headlining Cowboys Tent, which to my knowledge is something to do with the Stampede, and I've never seen Fall Out Boy. Obviously, they're one of the bands left on my bucket list that I've always wanted to see, and now I am finally getting that chance. I cannot wait, but that's besides the point. I just wanted to share that, yes, I will be a part of it. Yes, I will post about it just as I had the last ones, but I am a little busy. I will post about it as soon as I can, and I hope that all of you are excited and as excited as I am, not only for the Fall Out Boy, as I will be talking about that show in the next episode after I actually see them, but also for Black Veil Brides, because that's really where my excitement is at right now, because holy shit, my band might actually be back for real this time. Now, I wanted to touch on some new releases, because there's a lot of new releases coming, and a lot that have actually came out itself. So let me actually pull up some here real quick that I just wanted to share with everybody, because they're ones that I personally really liked and ones that kind of just, again, were exactly what I wanted. And I haven't been able to talk about them for a while now, so please bear with me as we're jumping back to like June 24th here with Save Me by Pine Hill. I don't know if anyone knows who Pine Hill is. They are a very small band. I've talked about them maybe once before, as they were actually shown to me by my buddy Caden. Shout out to you, man. I know you listen sometimes. And their monthly listener count is like around 1,000 now, which when I found them, it was maybe 600, 700. And their new song, Save Me, it actually features another artist. I would try to say the name, but I will butcher it. It's another Swedish artist. They're both Swedish. And honestly, this band, very underrated. I hope they get picked up soon because, wow, this song is good. And not just this song, their most recent EP. If you want to give that a listen, I know I mentioned it another episode ago, but give it a listen. You won't regret it, I promise. Then, of course, Begin the Sacrifice, Fit for a King. Yes, another single from their upcoming album, Lonely God. We are almost there. The new single, I honestly thought it was really good. Another just heavy song. This one less so than the others, but they've got a really good balance of heavy and just that kind of metalcore sound. They're really hitting their stride with this record, I think. I don't know so much of their old stuff. I've seen them before, as I mentioned in a prior episode. I actually seen them, the Metalcore Dropouts tour, Spring Break, I believe it was, the one that had them and Devil Wears Prada, and I believe the other band was Kingdom of Giants, maybe? I might be wrong on that one. But I seen them before in Edmonton, and they put on a wicked show. I cannot wait for this record. I'm ready for some screams. Give it to me, man. Then Empty Canvas, Arrows in Action. They've got a new album coming out. Side B, if you will, from their other Side A that they just released earlier. And honestly, I'm ready. It's going to be called I Think I've Been Here Before. No Side B included, because obviously we already got Side A. Do we really need to make Side B? Just make it into an album? I totally get it. But they've got that coming out. Empty Canvas, obviously, is the single, the newest single. And to give a date for that album when it's actually dropping, It drops September 19th, 2025. We're close, but not too close. It's going to come out around the time, actually the Friday, now that I think about it, that I'll be going to see 21 Pilots. So now I've got something to listen to on the plane if I'm not jamming 21 Pilots the whole time. So cannot wait for that. Very good. I honestly really like the new single. I think the old singles were a little bit better, or at least the side A. We'll see when the rest of it comes out, as we only have a few songs that we haven't actually heard. So it'll be interesting. Then Corporation Pop by Hot Milk. Yes, their album finally is out. And also, yes, it is just as political as people would think. They've got something to say, though. I can't diss them for that. It might not be my cup of tea. I haven't given the whole album a listen, I will be honest. But just the fact they have a new album out really makes me happy, because they released it with an intention. And they have something important to say. And yes, it is very political. It's politically driven. If you're from the UK, then obviously you're living that life and everything that they're kind of talking about. So hopefully you're able to relate some. And if you can't, hopefully it's good music. I would recommend giving it a listen. And if you don't like it, then please check out their older stuff, because their older stuff, for what I know, actually slaps. And I can't talk on this album too much. As I said, I haven't heard it yet, but it is out. Go stream it. Go give it a chance, please. Then the next one I kind of wanted to talk about was actually Gods of Rock and Roll stripped down orchestral mix from Billy Morrison and Ozzy Osbourne. Again, Ozzy. I cannot go without talking about one of his songs if they drop. I just can't, because honestly, he is a legend. Enough said. Then Set It Off. They've got a new album coming out, self-titled. It comes out November 7th. They actually just released their single, Rotten. And that single, might I say, I would have never expected a single from Set It Off, the band that I used to think was kind of like a heavier Panic at the Disco. They released something that I'd never in a million years would have thought would come from them. Granted, I'm not a Set It Off listener. I'm not. But I did listen to this one, and wow. It caught me off guard in the best way possible. I'm very happy with it, and I'm very excited to see what this album is going to bring for them, because I think it's going to be good things. Truthfully, I think it's going to be good things. As they also said that this is something that they've been wanting to do for a long time, but now that they're independent, they can finally do it. No studio interference. Thank God. Studios always ruin things. Now, the next thing, Ready, Set, Go, an EP from As December Falls. They've got their new album coming out, and this is the, again, most recent single for this album. The album is going to be called Everything's on Fire, But I'm Fine, coming out August 15th, 2025. Very good single. I listened to the whole EP. I know it's just singles that they've released for this album, but honestly, very good. Caught me off guard. I haven't listened to much of them in general. I do have their original EP back when they first came out, because they were giving it away on Facebook for free, a signed copy. All I had to pay was shipping. And I liked the vibe of the little clip that they had, and I listened to it, and I've honestly just bought it. I haven't followed them very closely since, but I think I'm going to have to start, because wow. Then Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Slipping Through No Kings. They're back. Holy shit. That was a pretty good song, I must say. And then More Than Hate by Bill Murray. Also very good banger. And this is where I really have to talk about. This one I have to talk about in particular. Actually, Savior by Hollywood Undead. Now I have something to talk about. Because as good as Savior by Hollywood Undead is, very heavy, not like Hollywood Undead at all. I was actually very caught off guard, but I really liked it. JID, or JID, I'm not sure what he goes by, how it's pronounced, but he released Animals Part 1 with Eminem. Woo! Straight fire. Absolute fire. They go spitting, man. Like, they just spit like crazy. The fact that Eminem can rap that fast and keep up with JID, and honestly outdo him on his own song, like, wild. I don't know much JID or JID. I love Eminem though, and I had to listen to that song. I listened to the whole 4 songs that is in the single. It's actually a part of an EP, if you will. It's called a single on Spotify, but it's called GDLU Prelude, so it's the thing that comes before his album. And the fact that this is only part 1 makes me wonder if there is a part 2 that also has Eminem on it that just goes even harder. Don't know. This one goes really hard. I don't know how they would even top it, but the fact that this released, and I was most recently actually listening to Fuel because fuck P. Diddy, and yeah, I will say it because he somehow got let go free of charge. Like, I know that he might still be facing prison time, but he still got let go in the grand scheme of things. So disappointing, and that's all I want to touch on it because it just makes me upset. And I was listening to Fuel quite a bit, both that one and the Shady edition from the Mourners edition of Death of Slim Shady. And with this on top of it, the 3 songs, if you listen to them all in a row, absolute fire. All of those songs, just absolute straight fire. I'm very happy with it. Anyone that likes really fast rap, I think you're going to have no issue with listening to this. It's killer. Then I have to say some new songs are on the way. We've got Dayseeker coming out with a new song. It comes out July 9th called Creature in the Black Night. If you want to go listen to it early, you can listen to it tomorrow, July 8th, on Octane, which some bands do. I know that Dayseeker themselves are. And that's not only Dayseeker, but Ice Nine Kills is coming back on July 9th as well. And they are going to be releasing their song on Octane first tonight. If you want to go hear it, go tune in right now if I'm not too late already. But they've got a new song coming out called The Great Unknown. Very excited for both of those. And then also Brian with I Prevail, the old I Prevail singer, Brian Birkenheiser, sorry if I butchered that name, he's coming out with Scatterbrain. He's got a new musical project, which makes me wonder why he got kicked out of I Prevail in the first place, but I guess more will come of it. We will probably hear more as time goes along, but very excited for that, as the clip sounded a lot more hip-hop driven and, really kind of signified his voice, and I think it sounded good. It was a clip. We'll see how the song actually sounds, if it's a song or an EP, or we don't know yet. We will see. And lastly, Water Parks. They're now signed with BMG and have more music coming on the way. They haven't released anything music-wise yet in terms of that, but they're signed. We've got a record deal done. And the last thing I wanted to kind of touch on, aside from Superman coming out, it does come out this Friday, I do also have to say NF and MGK. What kind of collab is going on with them? What is happening? NF posted on Twitter talking about how he's got more music coming on the way. He just needs to do music videos. Like, just pretty much be patient. He's got music. He just needs to find a way to release it. And, Then MGK responded with a little emoji, and NF responded back. I know it's just people talking to each other. It might mean absolutely nothing. And their vibes are completely different than each other. But what if they make a song together? What if? Just what if they make a song together? I don't know how that's going to sound. I don't even know if I want it, to be honest. But hell, whatever. We'll see what happens. I know MGK's releasing a new song too. So what if that is the one with NF on it? I don't know. Nothing has been said. We'll see. And if it happens, I'm probably going to lose my mind. And I hope to God it is good. Because NF is my favorite rapper, my favorite rap artist, hip-hop artist of all time. And I really hope that whatever they do together works. Because obviously NF always releases good things, in my opinion. So I don't think it would be necessarily bad. But it's going to be a little weird and take some getting used to. So I hope everyone goes out and enjoys the day. Enjoy Spirit Box, as they're on Jimmy Kimmel tonight. And I guess I should say Apple Music, it's been around for 10 years. And the top 10 songs that have been streamed throughout those 10 years are Bad Guy at number 10, No Guidance at number 9, Perfect at number 8, Sicko Mode at number 7, One Dance at number 6, Rockstar at number 5, Sunflower at number 4, God's Plan at number 3, Blinding Lights at number 2, and number 1 being Shape of You, ol' Eddie Boy himself. Now, that's all I have to talk about today. I will be back next week with, again, some Fall Out Boy. I'm going to be seeing them. Unfortunately, Joe Troman is gone for the rest of the year. He's got a hand injury, which was announced today. Hopefully that doesn't affect their actual performance when I see them, and even more so, hopefully he recovers in good time. So thank you so much for listening to all my rambles. Hopefully it comes out well. Again, my setup is not complete. I'm just recording this on the fly, and I hope y'all enjoyed listening to all of my rambles. Thank you so much, and thank you for discovering the music within.